Well, thank you for joining us, Gastronomerians. You are not going to regret today's episode because it's going to be freaking awesome. Watch my first friend who I brought along. I believe you all know him. His name is A5 Ribeye from Japan, and it's a thick boy too.
You want to see thick?
But we're not just gonna cook it, you know, in a regular fashion way on a pan or on a grill.
No pan? No grill?
Because I'll show you, he's got a friend. Pork belly, what we make bacon out of, and what the Chinese have perfected, where they marinate the bottom of it and then they crisp up the skin so it's just crispy and crunchy, and you have all these textures in one bite, and it's just delicious if it's done right. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take this pork belly and we're gonna cook it the right way, and there's gonna be so much fat that's gonna render out of it, but we're not gonna throw that fat out. We're gonna take that fat and we are gonna cook our delicious ribeye A5 from the shores of Japan in that pork belly fat.
We're gonna cook together. We're gonna cook together. Yeah, cook it.
I have a feeling it's gonna taste heavenly. Don't you? I think you do. So, why don't we begin this experiment or just love of food? I call it love of food. Let's begin!
Now the intention is to have a nice crispy crust. So you can't have a crispy crust with all the water content that's in that skin. So we're gonna poke holes in the skin to let that water out as it cooks. So I'm using a skewer because that's what I've got. But it's not really conducive to making a lot of holes in a short amount of time with one skewer. What if I had two? Maybe that would double up the yeah, there we go. Let's use two skewers. But still, wait, hang on a second. Now we're moving along. Three's better than two. Go fast, Dennis. Let's poke and poke and poke, but I can make it go even faster. Watch this. I'm done with you. Get out of my face. Now we begin the pork belly marinade.
I'll marinate you.
1/4 cup of soy sauce. This is Michiyu. It's a white Chinese cooking wine. 1/4 cup. Sometimes you're just too dang lazy to go get a knife or a garlic crusher. So this is what you do. Oh well. And then you also tell yourself it's just a marinade. We don't need to measure our brown sugar. Swirl all those lovely ingredients together, and then you're gonna lay your pork belly down, skin side up. Make sure none of that marinade touches that skin because it'll get wet. We want it to stay dry in the fridge. Remember, dry equals crispy, wet equals mush. Seriously, wait 12 hours before you take it out. Here it is. Gastronomerian ingenuity. Yeah. Now we wipe off all that marinade. See what I'm saying? How all the fat's gonna drip into the pan? Good old 350. You've never failed me before. Let's do this.
45 minutes later.
Let's see how much of this pork fat has dripped into our pan. Can you zoom in here a little bit? And from what I'm guessing, from what I'm seeing, I don't have enough pork fat. I wanted to fry that Wagyu and more pork fat. I have an idea. We're gonna add some bacon to this, and that'll produce more pork fat. There's a lot of moisture here on the skin. We want a crispy skin, but we gotta get rid of this moisture somehow. I have an idea. Salt, but not just any kind of salt. This, check this out everybody. Super big chunks of Himalayan. Why rock salt? Because I don't want it to be thin like table salt and seep in and make it too salty. because when it's done, I can actually scrape this off, and I can scrape it off the oil in the bottom, right? So let's go ahead and just cover this in the Himalayan rock salt, right? Because that's what it'll also do, as salt usually does, it helps draw out moisture, right? So we're actually just gonna do a salt crust. It's gonna cook it, and it's gonna draw out all the moisture from the skin. Rock salt going in. Boom. Let's give it about 15 minutes. Check it out again. Scrape off that salt, and then crisp out the skin. Unfortunately, the pork belly didn't produce enough fat as I wanted. I wanted that Wagyu swimming in pork fat. But I thought ahead for you. I have a plan B. Bacon! Yeah! So let's just take this entire package of nice thick cut bacon and just put it on a pan. We're gonna render all the fat out of it and add it to the fat of the pork belly. Plus, I think the smokiness will add even more flavor to the Wagyu. Plus, we get to eat bacon. We're gonna render this down, get all the fat out of it, and add it to the fat of the pork belly, and then we should have enough pork fat. I think we can move on to step number 2. So we have the salt drying out the skin. Look at that nice salt crust, everybody. But now we're gonna have to say goodbye to this nice salt crust. And we're just really just gonna get rid of that salt. Look at that. And it kind of crusted it up a bit. I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna put on convection. I'm gonna pump it up to 475. I'm gonna hit start. Now what that's gonna do, it's gonna convect it. There's a lot of air circulation, and it's gonna start bubbling this up and making it nice and crispy. Taking out our pork belly. And we've reached 475 degrees on a convection oven. And now we're gonna put it back for the sole reason of making that skin crispy, crunchity, lovity. Oh yeah. Come here, buddy. That's what you wanna see right here. Golden, crispy, and bubbly. Perfect. And move it over here. This is not the amount of fat that I was hoping for. So thank goodness for bacon. Because look at all the fat from the bacon. So now we can still continue our experiment and cook our A5 Wagyu in some straight up pork fat. You ready, guys? Oh. So we're not gonna touch it. We're just gonna let it sit there in the pig fat cooking. Let it absorb all that porky flavor into the beef. I can't wait to try this. Let me take that thermometer out. And look at that side. It's ready. Now pig fat, are you ready for more? Here you go. Oh guys. I wish you could smell what I'm smelling. It's awesome. So let me stick this back in here. We're gonna cut into this bad boy. Oh, the crust. Yeah. Nice square here. Let's cut it in half. Oh. Dude, we're in for a treat. Yes. Now, let's start the porn. Oh. Guys, crispity, crunchity pork belly. A5 Wagyu cooked in the fat of the pork belly, plus a little bacon. Let's do this. On to the tasting station. Well, what's up, everybody? We got Brandon in the house. So, guys, tonight is a super special episode You've seen us eating A5 Wagyu, blah, blah, blah. Boring. But have you seen us cook it in pork belly fat?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to his knowledge, not to my knowledge either. And I've cooked it all. But we didn't just cook it in pork belly fat. We went another couple steps further and finished the pork belly in this amazing style with this golden crispy crust on top. So, are you ready for an ER visit after this?
I'm ready.
Because I think we might have a little issue. What do you call it?
Clogged arteries?
Clogged arteries. I like to season our Wagyu after it's done, especially since it's been cooked in a pork fat. So let's go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of salt on it. This is salt from the mountains of Himalaya.
Fancy.
Only the best. Let's just get a little bit. Boom. Just a little dab will do you, right? Did you see that we ran out of pork fat and we had to use bacon fat?
And I got to eat the bacon.
He ate most of the bacon as I was cooking the rest. But anyway, Brandon, grab your fork.
No knives needed.
No knives needed. Here we go. First time ever, beef meets pork. You ready, sir?
Cheers.
Cheers. I mean,
Wow.
all right, so Brandon, have you been to steakhouses?
That is the absolute best steak I've had in my entire life.
Guys, okay. I can't form an opinion yet because I just took one bite and my mind was freaking blown. Guys, I know some people don't eat pork and I know some people don't eat beef. But when you marry the two together in their fat love, in their rendered fatty love, it creates some ethereal being. Let's do it. Holy shnikes! Oh my God.
Never in my life have I ever felt eating something would make me feel spiritual.
Brandon, Brandon, is that a good steak?
That is the absolute best steak I've ever had.
Best steak he's ever had. High fivey? Yeah, we discovered something new today, folks. You render your pork fat and then you cook your A5 in your pork fat. Holy cow. I can't stop yelling! Now, this is way big. We're gonna cut it in half. Try to fit it into our mouths. The skin is so crunchy and crispy, I've got to actually poke a hole in it first, just to get it started. All right, Brandon. So, the trick is this. If you can fit the whole thing in your mouth, you get all the textures. You get the crunchy, you get the juicy, you get the meaty, all in one bite, and that's the purpose of it. Plus the marinade. When I marinated it, I made sure the marinade didn't touch the skin. Because if it did touch the skin, that means the skin would have gotten moisture in it. And if it would have gotten moisture in it, it wouldn't have been so bubbly and crispy. He can't even listen when we finish talking. All right, here we go.
What do you think?
I love it. Golden crust, delicious. It served this purpose well. It provided us fat. If you have an opportunity, do it. It's amazing. All right, here we go. I'm gonna leave you with this one last bite. Watch my face. Holy cow. Guys, all right, enough of watching us eat. I just want to say, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Brandon. I hope you come over again and enjoy more food with us. We have a lot more content, a lot more different foods for you to try. I hope I did this justice.
I hope we do them justice.
And you know what? I have a very free offer for you that I usually have every episode. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel and you get amazing content every week, maybe every 2 weeks, on a bad month, maybe every 3 weeks. But anyway, stick with us. I promise we're not gonna let you down with amazing food, amazing friends, and just love all around. Click that like button, ring the bell, do all those things. You know, click anything you want to click. And bye!